Hello, welcome to another tutorial from the Happy Journals PLR Club Academy. I'm so happy you've joined me. Today, I thought we'd look at how you can edit the binding in my digital planners, journals or notebooks. When I say binding, I mean the bit in the middle of a digital planner layout that makes it look like an open book. More often than not, you can't edit the binding in a PLR digital planner or journal because they are pulled in as static PNG images. However, I create my own binding right in PowerPoint. Maybe one day I'll show you how I create them. But right now, all you need to know is that because they are created in PowerPoint, they can be edited. So, when I say my digital products are fully editable, I really do mean it. Let's head into PowerPoint so I can show you how you can edit them. Right. This is one of my new digital planners. At the time of recording, this is not yet available to buy as PLR. But it will be soon. This bit in the middle is what we're interested in today. At first glance, this probably just looks like a PNG image. But let's copy it to a blank page so we can explore it properly. When we have this selected and look up to the top menu, you'll see that the Shape Format tab is available to go into. This tab only ever appears when you're working with PowerPoint shapes or text. So, this is a good indication that something can be edited. I'm on a Mac, but this is the same on Windows. My binding is made up of a lot of very carefully constructed PowerPoint shapes. Then I've grouped them together in two different ways to make them easy to move around and less likely to get in the way when you're editing other things. So, with the binding selected, let's click into the Shape Format tab. In here, we need to find the group button over to the right. Once you find it, click on it. You'll bring up a little drop-down menu. From this, click on Ungroup. When you do this, you should see that each of the rings has its own box around it. We can ungroup it again, but we'll work with it like this for now before doing so. So, of course, this is to give the illusion of ring binding in the middle of your planner. If you wanted to add more rings to your binding, or maybe less, this is the point at which you do it. Now each of the rings has been separated, you can move them around however you wish. Let's first say you wanted only a few rings in your binding. This is easy to do. First, click and drag your mouse over the number of rings you want to get rid of. We'll go for quite a few. Then hit the delete key. Okay, now, obviously, we can't leave it like this. So, now click and drag your mouse over all of the rings so they are all selected. Then, in the Shape Format tab, find this big Align button. Click on it. Then move down and click on Distribute Vertically. And you'll find that the rings you have left spread out evenly. Perfect. I'll undo that so we can try something else. Now, let's first say you wanted more rings in your binding. This is also easy to do. This time, we only want to select one of the rings. Then copy it by pressing Ctrl and C on Windows, or Command and C on a Mac. Then, you'll want to paste it. Do this by pressing Ctrl and V on Windows, or Command and V on a Mac. Move the new one down slightly and as close to the center as you can. Then keep pasting until you have as many rings as you want. Then, we'll want to tidy this up. So, click and drag your mouse over all of the rings so they are all selected. Then, in the Shape Format tab, find this big Align button again. This time we're going to go into this twice. First, click the Align button and select Center so we can make sure everything lines up. Next, click the Align button again and click on Distribute Vertically. Again, you'll see that the rings spread out evenly. Okay, great. Now we know how to have more or less rings in our bindings. What if we want to change the color? Yup, we can definitely do this. Let me just delete these so we can start over fresh. So, you'll remember how we ungrouped this before, and I said it could actually be ungrouped again. I'll show you what I mean. We're starting fresh, so this is now grouped together again. Just like before, with the binding selected, let's click on the Shape Format tab. Here, we need to find the Group button over to the right. Once you find it, click on it, to bring up a little drop-down menu. From this, click on Ungroup. We're now back to where we were. So, we'll do the same again. Click on the Group button again. Then click on Ungroup one more time. Now you'll see that each individual aspect of the binding is separated and has a selection box around it. This means we can change the colors of our binding to anything we like. I actually don't recommend doing anything with the little black circles we see at the end of each ring. Just because these are set up in a particular way to make it look like the rings are going into the paper. You can play around with these if you wish. But that's up to you. We're going to avoid them today. This means we only want to select these bits here. The rings. There are two very simple ways we can do this. Firstly, you can hold down the Shift key and click on each individual ring. Just be careful not to accidentally move them as you're clicking away. If you do, just press Ctrl and Z to undo it. That is Command and Z on a Mac. But if you've added in more rings, you might find that they get in the way of each other when you're trying to click on them. So, to get around this, we'll do it another way. Click and drag your mouse over the whole thing to select everything. Then hold down Shift while you click and drag your mouse over all the black circles. This will deselect them for you. So, if you do this on both sides, you'll be left with just your rings selected. Now, you can change your colors. This is super simple to do. You're looking for the Shape Fill button. You can find this in two main places. If you're in the Main tab, you'll find it towards the right of your screen. Around here. If you're in the Shape Format tab, you'll find it just over here towards the left. Either way, once you find it, click on the little down button next to where it says Shape Fill. This will bring up a color palette for you to choose from. If you want to add your own color, or pick from a far wider range of colors, you can click on More Fill Colors. I have other tutorials about adding your own colors to PowerPoint. I'll link to these down below. So, you'll just pick your color. Let's try a golden color. And that's it. You have a completely different binding. To finish everything off, we just need to regroup it again. So, click and drag your mouse over the whole thing to select everything. Then go back into the Shape Format tab. Find the Group button again. If you've not changed the number of rings you have, it should give you the option to regroup. This will allow you to group each ring individually, which I always find useful, just in case. Then, once you've done that, click on the Group button once more. And click on Group. And there you have it. Your binding is back together in a brand new color. Now, obviously, your binding has to go on every page of your digital planner or journal. Never waste time doing what we've just done for every page. Instead, you can just copy and paste your new binding onto each page. I do have 2 tricks for making this process even easier. I will show you these in my next tutorial. Get excited because these will save you a crazy amount of time. But for the sake of completeness, let's just quickly walk through the copy and paste process. It is super simple. First, select your new binding. Then copy it by pressing Ctrl and C on Windows, or Command and C on a Mac. Now go to a page you want to change the binding on, and delete the one that's already there. Just select it and press Delete. Now paste your new binding. Do this by pressing Ctrl and V on Windows, or Command and V on a Mac. You'll see that it was pasted in exactly the same position it was in when you copied it. So, if this position is correct, you can carry on pasting it to your other pages. If it is not quite right, just reposition it. When you're happy, copy it again and start pasting to other pages. Why not try this with some of my free or super cheap digital products? I'll link to some down below for you. I truly hope this has been helpful. Let me know what else I can help you with in the comments below. Until next time, be kind to yourself.